Hello, one and all. Thank you so much. Nicole Farguharson here, and we're Townsy and I are taping part 2 of the first conversation. Um, Before we get started on any kind of depth or anything, I want to talk a bit about the conference that was held the other day for the disabled. Um, Really wish we could banish that word, but I guess it'll come in time. But anyway, no disrespect to anyone that had a hand in putting it together, choosing the venue, but I think it was lacking thought and a lot of effort. So in that, some things went down. But anyways, earlier on in the morning, it was started by the Minister of Social Services, Minister Roll. And it was disappointing after hearing the titles that rolled before her name even got dropped. Everyone was calling off where she's been, what she's done, what she's doing now, and all of this. It seems like none of those titles to me, and feel free, madam, at any time if you would like to talk. I'm always here. None of those titles seem to suit what is needed in this country right now, unless it's approached with, titles don't mean anything anyway, but if it's approached with, I don't want to use that term because it's a bit strong, but with a bit more understanding, by all means do what you have to do. But earlier on she had used the term enabling the disabled. Okay, I'm going to try and overlook that. That's not good though. That's not a good look for the seat that she sits in, or the position that she's holding, or her as a person. A video was shown. That's great. I'm happy for the kids in India. There's nothing to do with here. And I get it. I get the whole aspect of it, you know, the message. I get the message. But in actual fact, I think that in itself didn't help the situation any. Just as she was about to finish, I got fed up, my brother and I, and we were about to leave, actually, and we decided to stay a few more minutes. And then they brought up, and sadly, God bless her soul, that woman blew me away. And as they were bringing her out, my brother had to go over and move the table and enable the capable, which was sad. It did make me smile, but it was very sad to see everyone fumbling around trying to get this done when the topic at hand and the people that it's about, I would think that you would arrange this a lot better than that. I mean, the ramp outside, that's great, but as I always tell a friend of mine, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that, because we sit down and make up these legislations and have these meetings and all this grandiose stuff goes on, but it's just a bunch of talk, really. Because I think at the end of the day, you can install a ramp, but who opens the door for anyone that's in a wheelchair or crutches that really needs it? Anyone in a wheelchair has no access to even a police station. You can drive around any police station and take a look. I would think at some point, enabling the disabled would include all of that. Again, we really need to take a close look at how we handle things and handle each other. Now, I have a saying that I live by, and this is, I really try not to get on people too much because I understand it, but we can only meet people as deeply as we meet ourselves. And if everyone on the committee has been for years or still is, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, if you're not moving or seeing any kind of movement, how are you meeting yourself? That's frightening to me, because if you can't even meet the issues at hand and deal with human life, us as a family, as a community, we are not here to, let's say, take away anything at all. We're here to be understood, just like you are at the end of the day. But I think it's scary in that aspect for me anyway. And As the conference went on and Ms. Adley spoke, I stayed for that. Thank goodness I did. And then at the end of it, she was wheeled to the back of the room. Again, disrespectful. There were a few other people there that were in wheelchairs that sat pretty much at the back of the room. I don't know. I have no idea what that's about. But anyway, hopefully y'all figure that out. I said in the first video that there seems to be a lack of compassion in everyday life. It doesn't matter what it is you have, disability or no. It's a fact that we lack compassion. And when I say compassion, it goes beyond kindness and pity. It then turns itself into passion. There's no passion in anyone anymore. Everybody's doing their own thing. They're not really truly concerned about helping anybody. So as I said in the first video, if you're not prepared to step up to the plate and do what it takes to make change, step down, please. Because it's just not going to be well taken by us as a family or the outside world looking in. Change immediately and always starts with us. So if you cannot sit with us, with anyone, whether they have a problem or not, and have some form of feeling in your heart, I think you're not on the right path. Because for me, on a day-to-day basis, I talk to people, people contact me, whether it be for advice or friends, and I'm touched by every life that I encounter. This mission that I'm putting myself on now is in hopes that I can touch somebody's heart, be it on the commission or in our community, to make a change. We need it desperately. There's a lack of transportation for people that can't firstly afford it, or if they can, they're not getting the help that they need, the assistance to get this transportation or to move around freely in different places. We want to feel able. We want to feel, like I said, understood. But we can't do that when the people that we turn to get some kind of help or some kind of armor to stand in this battle with us, we're not getting that. If we're looking at you and you're just kind of just, we're doing the best we can, which to me is nothing. Whatever's on your legislation, I would highly advise that you not just sit down and read it, but firmly go into it, add to it, and sit with, again, I will say, everyone in our family and our community, and let's make a change on this. Don't just sit there among people that are not gonna shuffle paper or that's gonna shuffle paper all day and drink coffee. We need actual fire under the asses, pardon my French, of the people that can get out there and do this and get this done. I recommend a documentary that's called The Quality of Life. The title alone is something I want everyone to think about before watching it. But please, by all means, you can find it on YouTube, and I will make sure that Townsy has it. Please watch this documentary. This doesn't just affect everyone with a physical challenge, it affects our families as well. The ones that are fortunate to have families that give support. It's also tedious for them, and we get it. We understand that it's not, everyone has concerns. They don't want you to fall down. They don't want you to go over there and touch that. You might be hurt or whatever. But we want to be heard. We want you to listen. And before, or not just sitting and listening to answer, but listening with everything that you have, not just your ear, but with your heart and your soul, to listen to us. We each have stories to tell. We bleed just like you do. We eat just like you do. We have cravings, we watch TV shows, but we want to live a life outside of the box that we've been placed in. And in order for us to do that, we need to put our heads together, our hearts together, and our fists together and get this done. So this isn't a pity party. I'm not about that. And truly, if I have to stand at the forefront of my now family, this has been since birth. That includes everyone around the world with a physical challenge. And without my family, that's who I call my family, I will stand at the forefront. And as the great Maya Angelou said, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. So if that means I have to get out there and fight on my own to see change and get change done for the people I see suffering on a day-to-day basis just to live, then so be it. As I said earlier, if you're not willing to step up and do what needs to be done, step down. That's the best advice I can give you, and you should probably ever get. It's time for change. Hearts are hurting. Minds are bent out of whack. It's bad enough that we have to fight with ourselves on a day-to-day basis just to figure out where we are and what's good for us. But we don't want to have to do that sitting alongside people who are clueless about what we need and what we want. Again, I will say to you, please, before you make any decisions, sit with us, talk to us, get our ideas, step into our lives, come into our homes, come into our communities, our hood, if you will. Get to know us. And like I said, we have stories. We live a life. And maybe you will have more of a compassionate mind and more passion to do what you're doing if you do that. So it's good to sit up high, but it's even better when you're right here with the people that you know at the end of the day mean you well. Again, if anyone should ever want to talk, please, by all means, I'll probably contact you anyway. I'm not going to even give you a chance. But please, step down, come hang with us.